Okay, so today we're gonna learn about that how to work with Redux in React. So in order to that, I'm just using the npx create react app command to create an application, and which says like we are going to create a shopping application, or we can say shopping cart application. Okay, so we are just creating a shopping application. In this, what we gonna do, we'll have two three things, like we can add the products into the cart, and we can even work on the like registration and login also. Okay, so let's
Yes,
just
sir.
try to see this how it works. uh, it's getting created by the react. So here we want to install a couple of dependencies also, like one is Redux and one is React Redux. So React is an independent
Yes.
library which actually used for managing the states. So for the state management we use Redux, and there is a layer which is like React Redux, which provides the combination or connection to the Redux from React. Okay, so it's like taking couple of minute to get set up. Let's wait for it, and then we'll be starting on working. So just an idea, just about an idea, what we have to build here, we need to create one registration form, one login form, and then we'll have some mock products, and then we'll start like adding them into the cart. So we'll have the
Yes.
product component also. So what components we are going to create? One is header. Okay. One
One
is
is
product list,
login.
one is cart list, one is product, and one is registration, and one is login. Okay. So,
Okay, sir.
so as we are happy to work on this, like shopping backend, not shopping backend, should be like shopping shop cart. That's Alice. We'll have a name called shopping cart. So we'll do shopping cart. Okay, so here also we can open not just file, we can open the folder. We can go in the like this URL, see users, and just go into the C drive, C drive, and then there's the users like this. And here we can have this shopping cart. So we are selecting this folder, and this is open now. Okay, so we just directly jump into the index.js. We can remove the codes which we don't know. Okay, and now we want some dependencies. So I've just told you that we want to install npm Redux as well as React Redux. Okay, hope you know this why we want these things, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So we can create a store, like here we can create a folder named as store, and within that store we can create a file that is reducer.js. Okay, and what does a reducer do? Here we actually manages the global states, the states which are required everywhere, can be required everywhere in the project. So what we can do, we can create a initial state, and in that whatever we want we can introduce it. So like we want users, so that will be an empty array. We want the current user, we can say like current user or logged in user. So you can say like login user. So by default it will be null. Okay,
Yes, sir. No.
and we can have like products. So by default, let's suppose I'm adding couple of products. So ID is one, name is pen, okay, and price is let's suppose 5. Okay, I'm just adding 2 3 products so that we can work on those. So here 2, id 3, id 4, and instead of pen we can have pencil, and here we can have like eraser as like 3 rupees, or we can have like pencil like 2 rupees, and the sharpener as like 4 rupees. Okay, let's just save this.
Yes.
We have products in that way, so we can get it collapsed. We know that we have products, and then we'll have one more thing, that is cart, and which is actually empty. So we can add things into the cart. Okay, so this is our initial state, and now we have to create the reducer. So reducer is what? Reducer is just a method which is having two things. One is state and action. Okay, so it takes state
Yes.
and return a new state basis on the action type. So in
Yes.
the first line of the reducer, we should write the switch. We need to switch on the action dot type. What is the type of the action? And the default case will be, we just return the state as it is, whatever it is. Okay, and we have like couple of cases also, like case which is, let's suppose, register. Okay, so here what we need to do, we need to return a new state. Okay, we can create a copy of that state, and what we can change the users array. So we need to create a new users array, and whatever the users within this array before and the new user. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, we'll have a look how it works. So let's suppose we are just working on this action register. Okay, after that we can just export default this, we can use the create store method, like this method, so that it get it imported at the top. So we are using this, and we can pass the reducer it to create the store. We just need to save it, and here in the index.html we don't need this, and we need this even. Okay, here what we can do, we instead of this, what we can use the provider. Okay, which is a Redux one, so we can easily use that. We can provide it here, but we need to provide that store. So first we need to import that store. So I'm importing that store from where? Oh, wherever we have created in store folder and as a reducer. Okay, so this store can be provided to the provider. Make sense? So
Yes.
the entire app will be having this store. Okay, so let's suppose I just need to print the products for now. So I'm just going to app.js, removing all things from here. Okay, and what we can do, we just need to use the selector, use selector. So in order to that, what we can do like products, sorry, const products equals to use selector, which is a React Redux hook. Okay, here we'll have the entire state, and what we want from state, we want only the products. Okay, so here we can print the products. How? Like we can do the products dot map to print the product, and the product, what we can do, we can print them in the div right now.
Yes, sir.
So like this way, this is the div, and then we can write, like we need to give the key whenever we are writing the map. So what we can give, product.id for sure, and within this we can write like product dot name and product dot price. Make sense? Let's just save this and try to run this. What's going on so far? So I've done npm start, and that should run the development server. And here we are at the localhost 3000. It's loading going on, and let's just see that what will be the result of this. So I cannot see anything over here. So let's just check cannot read provide undefined products reducer. Do we have products over here? Yes, we do have. So there are some issue with this product. Let's just see why it's working in that way. Cannot read the product. Okay. Okay, then let's just do this app.js. Come here, refresh the page. And then let's just see. Try catch original error. Okay, so we can pause the recording for now. See, the issue is we haven't assigned this initial state to that state. So we need to assign it. So it's not getting this state. So just save this and now come to the React app, close the terminal, refresh your window, and now you can see your products with your price. Okay. So this is the initial assignment. This is the initial assignment, and that went into in the state. And in the default case, there is no action we have performed so far, so it's returning the default state. In the default state, it came here, and all the products that I've assigned to the state is mapped here. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to create another folder which is like component. And within that component, let's suppose registration.jsx, and within this RAFC, which can be like this, and this will be a what? Form dot register. Right now, we don't need any action on this form, and within form, we want like how much? Like 4 inputs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what I can do, I can do like this way. So here one is text, second one should be the password, and then second one is also text for the username, then the password, and the confirm password also we have
Password.
password, and we can now easily give them a placeholder name, placeholder, what we can do like username, placeholder easily as password. So we have confirm password, and we can do it like such a way so that it should be visible properly. So this is one of the component we have created, and we can integrate that like for now we can integrate here registration, just get an entry, and we can see this component over here. Okay, we need to create one button also so that we can get it registered. So after that we can have like input say button value should be the register, and on click will gonna dispatch it that it will be registered. Before that we need all these 4 values in a state. Okay, so what we can do like a state name should be there. Initially this will be empty, and new state snippet there will be should be a username, initially should be empty right now, and then state for the password, and also should be empty, and then you state for the confirm password Okay, and initially that also should be empty. So we got this, and then what we need to write the values
Right.
to name and on change. What we want on change? We want
Set name
it to be set name as e dot target dot value.
value.
Make sense? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this string like this way now. T paste. Here, what should be the username, password? Should be set username, set password, and set confirm password. Make sense? So here we have all the state assigned to it. It's a very short thing, and we are missing one thing, that is use state over here. So it won't be, and there is one issue, GSX registration parsing error. What's the error now? Where? In the line number 18. Okay, here we haven't passed anything. Okay, so we want to dispatch something. So we'll use this dispatch thing from React Redux. Dispatch. So it got imported at the top. And now we can do the dispatch at the click of this. So we can call like register. And here we can create a method called register. Right? And that method can be like this way. And within this method, what we can write like dispatch, and dispatch can dispatch an action. So action is a consists of two things. One is the type, which is register, which should be exactly matched with this reducer thing, this action. Okay, and in the payload, what we can pass payload, what we can pass a JSON. In that we can give the ID, and that can be like a generic thing. So we can have like get time such a way. Okay, and
Yeah.
will be name, username will be username, and password will be password. Make sense?
Yes.
This is what we are dispatching at the time of registration. Can you see this?
Yes.
And if we want to print the users instead of products, okay, so I can write like const users equals to use selector state dot users, and then similarly we can print the users also. Instead of product, we can do users. Instead of product, we can use user. And then just copy this and paste it, user dot name and user dot username. Just save it and come here. You can see no users in there. Why? We haven't even registered it. If we're going to like write something like this way, tapping on this, you can see the user is here. And if I can add you like Mohit and Mohit, you can see that users are here.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do try with the login also. In the login, we want this to be updated. The logged in user should not be null anymore. Okay, so let's just create one more component, that is, let's suppose in the component we directly create this, and we can also create like login.jsx for now. And here what we can do RFC, and that should also be a form dot login. Okay, we need not any action over here. Instead, we can have like input star 2. One is of text and one is of password, right? And here what we can do like placeholder as like username, and yeah, what we can have placeholder as password. Perfect. And then button which says like login. Okay, and then we need to state. One is for username. Okay, and second one is for tell me. Perfect. Password. I'm just copying that username password from here if you don't mind that. Any issues in this? Like it's exactly same as we can work for that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here it is. And on the login, what we want to do two things. Let's suppose on click, we are writing login. Okay, and here let's create a method called const login equals to some method that will do something. First, we need to check the username and password are correct or not. So the way we extracted user here, we can do the same thing into the login. Like we can extract the users. We can, use the use selector also so that it get imported. Okay, so now we have users. For those users, we need to find that. What we need to find, we get a user, and if user dot username is triple equals to with my name, sorry, my username,
Good name.
and user dot password is triple equals to with my password,
Confirm.
then it will return a user, and
Yes.
this user should be saved into the payload. So here I am having const payload pay. Okay, so here I am gonna write if payload, then dispatch. So here we can create like dispatch also, const dispatch. Just use dispatch right now, and here I can dispatch what? Dispatch a JSON. Action is a JSON. There are two things. Like one is what? Type of the JSON, and second is the payload. So we can pass the payload. If there is no payload, that means wrong credential, of course.
Mhm.
So we can write in such a way. Save it, and let's just go to the reducer. We have created a register case, and now we can create a login case. And in this case, we need to what? Return a new state. And what we have to update the user. That should be now the action dot whatever we have seen. So let's just try this. So here we have close. Let's just do one thing. Let's just do Shubham. So here it is. We haven't imported the login. So we can have like login also here after the registration. So here we can easily see the login. There is one issue in the login that we haven't used use state at the top. So we can do that too. save it and see it here. Use selector is also not used like this. No, use selector is React hook user call in a function login. Okay, this should not be called. This should be on the top of this, like this way only. Okay, save this now, and now we can see this. And at the successfully, dispatch, we should like
Alert.
success. Save it and then try. It's a success. If I do a wrong password, it will say wrong credential. You will see this right now.
Yes, sir.
And in the case of logout, what you need to do once you get logged in, you can check here if you are logged in. So how will you check? You can use in a similar way. Like if there is a user, instead of user, you can check user. If there is a user, that means we are already logged in, right?
Yes, sir.
So what we can do, we can use input type equals to like button, and it says what? It says logout, right? If it is not logged in, then it should show the login. Let's just see this. So we are having logout button over here. Why so? Because we just logged in. And if I log
Yes,
out, what should happen on click? There should be a method called, and we need a dispatcher also here. Dispatch to use dispatch. Okay, and what we need to dispatch here? We need to dispatch what we need to do. We need to pass an action, the type, and it says what? Log. Make sense? And we need not to send any payload. We just want it to be logged out. In a reducer, what we need to do? We need to create another case which says like this. This is user, and here what we can do, we can make it again null, right?
yes.
In the case of logout, it will be null. So here you can see this. I'm refreshing the page. I'm just adding a user Shubham. Entered. And if I'm doing like Shubham, success. Okay, it make logout. If I click on logout, it make it login panel again. Can you see this?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So this is how we can work with the Redux. Okay. So I guess you can practice this and work on it. So thank you. Let me stop the